Okay, I've made a Nintendo piece where she is the magic milk carton. There we go.
So we were chatting last night, all right, Earth, and me and Turbo were doing just a Dead by Daylight game and what have you.
Yeah.
I don't think you were there at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think were you there when we got the fantastic offer of you don't sound too happy, would you like to come and watch me model a milk carton?
Yes, because Nintendo directed that at me.
Oh, was that you? Was it? Oh, okay. I was going to say, I've been thinking about this all day. This offer.
I mean, it was for all of you essentially. But like, I remember it was after a really hard game of DBD, and I'm just like, oh, they don't sound too happy. I'm gonna make them happy by saying, right, I know this isn't the right.
Yeah, so saying, would you like to watch me model a milk carton?
Yep.
Yeah, it's.
I'm gonna have to post something in Ezio's thing now. I'll do it after this.
No, hang
on. What, a magic milk carton?
Is there some sort of milk carton waifu the situation? You know.
I'm gonna be honest. There probably is.
I mean, yeah.
It's the internet. Someone.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'll do it after the show.
Anyway, what to start? Run the titles.
Run the titles.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Redux. I am, of course, Kevin, because otherwise this wouldn't be a Radio Redux show. I am joined by two people today at different ends of the gaming spectrum, but one's at red, the other's at indigo, and never the twain shall meet. The first person residing in Indigo Heights, it's Urtheart.
Yard.
How are you doing, Earth?
I be alive.
Be alive. This is good. I do not have anything else to say other than that. It's just good. There's nothing else. I live. I live. Excellent. That's literally all that needs to be said on that subject. It's
sorry. I live.
You live. I've heard about They Live. Is You Live the sequel or the prequel to They Live?
I'm going to say the prequel.
The prequel, okay.
And then the one afterwards will be Everybody Lives.
We Live.
No, that's the Nintendo. That's the Nintendo.
It's like the opening to Lion King 2.
Oh, that's He Lives in You.
Yeah, He Lives in You. I didn't want to...
He lives in you. He lives in me. That is Nintendo. You hear and don't see. She's the red side. She's here today. and in both your ear holes. She lives today. In fact, she lives for the next 50 minutes or so. But hello, Ninten.
Hi, I'm Ninten. I'm an artist, a game developer, and content creator. I'm happy to be here to discuss everything about the Sonic movie because guess what? I've not been shutting up about it, haven't I? So...
I don't know. I've not heard anything about it yet. So.
I mean, until the other day, no one heard anything about it, pretty much. So,
I was gonna say, apart from what was it, the 4 or 5 messages I got immediately afterwards, going, "Have you seen it yet?" And it's like, "No, I'm at work." And then an hour
that's
later,
no
going,
excuse.
And then an hour later, "Hey, have you seen this stuff announced in Nintendo Direct?" "No, I'm at work." Now, admittedly, someone did point out, surely you watching that should be part of your job. It's like, probably yes, but at this point in time, no, I'm busy.
Wow, People think that once you're in the games industry and doing stuff, you do stuff in games, and boy, are they wrong.
Considering my current department, you know.
Yes, this is true.
This is why I'm a VTuber. Just kidding, just kidding.
Nintendo doesn't exist. Nintendo doesn't exist.
I don't-
Nintendo is just a cartoon character in the corner of your screen that goes wow 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 wow. That's all she is. There isn't a real person behind it at all. The art draws itself.
Wait, if the art draws itself, is it its own AI then? That would cause controversy.
That would cause controversy.
Actually, so...
And I've got news for you. We'll be coming back to the topic of AI.
Interesting.
Today, on today's show. Because there is a brand new Radio Redux segment for the first time in 10 years. Just prior to the weekend, we had the drop. The much teased, much publicised, much not actually happened for ages drop of the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie 3, which is not Sonic Adventure 2, but is using everything from Sonic Adventure 2.
Except for Amy and Rouge.
They showed it off, they showcased Shadow, and the big confirmation after much rumour that the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog will be His Royal Hairness himself. Keanu, guns, lots of guns.
You know what? I don't think that's a bad casting.
I don't think it's bad at all. I think it suits. People originally were wanting Hayden Christensen, the guy who played Anakin in the prequels. I don't think the voice would fit. With Keanu, I feel like it fits. He sounds very scary in John Wick, so yeah. I've only ever watched Bill and Ted. I've only ever watched The Adventures of Bill and Ted. So
the Avengers of Bill and Ted, because that would be an amazing film. I want to see. That's a film I want to see.
That's the next sequel that they need to do just to keep the rights for it alive.
I am. Oh dear! I am Captain Bill S. Preston, American Esquire.
See my Scottish accent. Honestly, it's me being a Southern Scottish woman. Honestly, his aura as John Wick is dark and is very dark, of course, because they killed the dog, obviously, and he went on a rampage.
Spoilers.
I've not seen any of the movies yet.
Wow.
As far as I was aware, he was a Payday 2 character.
Okay, there isn't a dog. Earth, there isn't a dog, and it definitely doesn't die.
Oh, good. Well, it's not worth watching the movie because you can't see him pet the dog. So.
He pets the dog.
But the dog doesn't exist.
Well, it's sort of Schrodinger's dog.
Anyway,
which is slightly more accurate, actually.
I am so sorry for anyone who hasn't watched John Wick yet.
The dog is perfectly fine so long as, you know, is your eyes are closed, the dog is fine. If your eyes were to be opened, let's say, then maybe the dog is alive, the dog isn't alive. Maybe there is no dog. Maybe the dog is a cat. Maybe the cat is a bird. Maybe the bird is an actual reflection of the bird that the bird just thinks is really pretty and is really infatuated by it. and will
Okay,
stare at
more-
it for hours and hours on end.
The more important
Yeah.
question is, will Shadow pet the dog?
Will Shadow pet the dog? No. I don't think so. But you mentioning John Wick brings up something, which was that there's like fan theory suggestion that John Wick is alternate universe Neo, or Neo in another Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like the skill level involved, like the people involved, and there's various shots and things which are deliberate homages to the Matrix within John Wick. So if we continue that fan theory onwards, does that then mean that Shadow the Hedgehog is an alternate universe or alternate Matrix version of Neo?
Yes.
Is that what it's going to be?
The thing is, that makes so much sense, is the problem. And I feel like it fixes a couple of the plot holes that I've already picked from the trailer.
Oh, there are loads of nonsense.
Well,
in
I
there.
mean, of course, this is the assumption of how much is based on the games, and obviously it's
Well-
going to change in the games. But anyway, shall we move on to that discussion?
Yes.
So
So
let's get
Yes,
back on
let's not get
topic.
distracted.
I would like the excitable one.
Who? Earth?
Yes, clearly.
Yes,
The
guy
one who's
didn't-
really in, because I'm going to say, guys who are listening, I think these two know, I don't give a stuff about the Sonic movies. They have never appealed to me at all. They still don't, even with Shadow in it. I'm a Keanu Reeves fan, I am a Jim Carrey fan, and I still don't care. So, unsurprisingly, my input is going to be slightly more, well, looking at this
It's a movie.
Looking at this objectively, there's a few things that I take issue with, actually, but this is why we're going to go over to the positive person who's actually seen the other movies.
Well, so really enjoyed the first movie when it came out. It didn't really hook me back into the series, but when Sonic 2's teaser came out, I streamed Sonic Adventure on Twitch. That's how I met Turbo and the rest of you guys as well, all later down the line. And then saw Sonic 2 in cinemas. Sonic 3, I absolutely adored the trailer. It was after me and my friend met up and they went for the bus. The trailer released and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna watch it here in the cafe. And then I see Shadow in action and I'm just like, ooh, fluffy. Fluffy Shadow.
He is a fluffy boy, isn't he?
To be
Yeah,
fair,
he's-
they're all fluffy boys. And
Yeah, but Shadow seems especially fluff.
Yeah, like he's especially fluffy, and that's what I liked about it. Like, obviously,
to be
like,
fair, he's been like soaking for years and then gets out. He's
in
not
that
had,
random hair gel that he's in.
Yeah. But he hasn't had a chance to have a shower. He hasn't had a chance to do anything else. He's been on a rampage.
but maybe he just is fluffy. Obviously, the big factor was the visuals as well. There was a lot of nice wee details as well, with references, including where he's in this glass cubicle thing. And obviously it's the scene, or it's what's supposed to be, where Maria sends him down to Earth. And then there's another shot with Shadow and Gerald just sitting there, probably mourning Maria's death. They included the Chow Garden as a Japanese cafe, and it's also set in Tokyo as well, which is what I really like. I plan to go see the third movie many more times than the one time, because there's so many people that I want to go see it with. Just enjoy the moment. But yeah, I'm really hyped for this movie.
Which features the annual "Let's Throw a Bone to the Knights" fan base. Because there's a Knights Chow in there, and that's as close as you're gonna get, I suspect, to
probably.
anything relating to Knights. Unfortunately, but it was a nice state. It was a nice state of affairs. Yeah. So as you mentioned, there's a few shots in there, isn't there? That's come from places. There's obviously there's some SA2 stuff in there. There is some Shadow the Hedgehog stuff in there, and I'm not just
Obviously.
talking about the fact that he's magically got his motorcycle. But there was some specific shots. The Shadow sort of standing up and over and looking down and being really angry shot from Shadow was there. the
And
attacking
the teleporting roundhouse kicks.
Yeah, the teleporting roundhouse kicks was in there, which is something of a trademark, I guess. Roundhouse kicks in general.
Yeah, roundhouse kicks to shadows.
There's a possibility, that we might get for Sonic 4. Actually, probably Sonic 5, probably. I'm guessing, since I'm assuming Sonic 4 will end up being, hey, look, Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic and then Sonic Heroes, I guess it'll do. But I guess the one after that we might get Silver. We might get some form of 06 nonsense.
Yeah,
and then there's a chance we might get on the big screen the roundhouse kick to end all roundhouse kicks.
Yes, the best moment
the
of
best
Sonic
moment. So good it made Sega's own top 10 of best Sonic franchise moments.
Which doesn't feature Sonic at all.
It doesn't really, no. It was much more about anything else, but
this does seem to be...
So there is some stuff in there, yes.
This does seem to be a bit more of a Sonic World Tour, because obviously there's shots from London as well, and we found out that they were shooting that last year while we were all in London at the Sonic Symphony.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
Does this mean we get a June cameo?
Yeah, please. I was actually about to say I'm hoping we get a June cameo.
Because they were mostly... I think what they were doing was they were filming the shots which they were going to CGI over, so there was no human actors in there.
Can we have Crush 40 as the Chow Garden house band? I think that's
probably not a bad idea.
No, not in the Chow suits, but just having them as the house band. I just think that would be really fun. Just have the full Crush 40. I'm talking about here as well.
Come on, if they're going to film shots in Tokyo, Japan, they're gonna have to include some sort of form of cameo from the Sega executives.
I mean, you'd love to think so, wouldn't you?
I don't know if they're particularly
if there's a prison break out there, then notorious master criminal might make an appearance. That was my favourite thing, by the way, that came out of this trailer. Was that somebody, if you've ever seen the film Sing, and I absolutely love the Sing franchise, it's one of my favourite things. There's one of the things in that is the gorilla character. His father's part of exactly. Johnny's part of a criminal gang, and his father's the big boss gorilla, and he sees the show on the TV, and he's in his orange jumpsuit and he's in the jail, and he then breaks out basically to go and see it. And after a very, very long period, Yuji Naka came on Twitter just to go #SonicMovie3 and retweet it. But somebody
sending you that.
But somebody put the clip. It was in quote response to that was the clip of that of Johnny's dad just going, just in the prison in his orange jumpsuit going, Johnny! That's my son! That's my son!
That's my son!
Absolute. And then of course Johnny realises my son, and then realises he's in jail and he's not there with his son. And it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Whoever you were, I can't remember your name off the top of my head, but thank you so much for that, because that was absolutely perfect.
But that's insane that they were actually filming whilst we were.
That's pretty crazy.
Technically, we were in. Sonic.
I mean, I don't want to start any rumors or anything, but remember, I wasn't in that. I wasn't in the theater while you guys were watching it. So where did I go?
You went off to go meet some lovely people, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, can you remember who those people were?
I wouldn't like to say. Also, no, because my brain is shot at the moment.
I know. Wow, there we go. So I'm just suggesting. I'm just putting it out there into the universe that you never know. You never know what might have happened. Alternatively, I'm lying and making this up. So, but it was true that whilst that was being filmed at the same time, I wasn't with these guys for a long period of that. Ha ha ha.
But yes,
There are a couple of people who still like me at Sega.
well, we know a few of them. But yeah,
Wait, that's more than a couple. So that's
Yeah.
who likes me
It's,
then? I don't know about. This is okay.
I said I know a few. I'm not going to tell you.
You're not going to tell me who they are. That's quite.
Not on the radio. I'm not going to.
Tell me afterwards. I'll be interested. But all in all, Nintendo, you were pretty excited about things, right? In terms of the trailer and how's it going?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks to Sonic 2, I got back into Sonic and I never looked back. So
I think you mean you never turned back.
never turn back, never turn
Chris,
back.
me and Kev
never
have been trying to get
turn
rid of the blue
back.
bugger for years and keeps
At this
coming
point,
But-
I just need to get to the end of Sonic Rex and then I can. There is an end point to that comic, by the way.
Although you do have a potential silver story to do in the future.
Do I?
Wait, no, did we already do that one?
Do we? Oh. No,
I can't remember.
I don't know about that. No.
Anyway,
The end of Sonic Rex has been in my head for a very, very long time at this point. I know exactly what happened in the last issue.
yeah, the thing with the Sonic movies is I didn't really care about going to see them because I was like, they're kids' movies. As much as I may owe a few stuff to the Blue Blur, I wasn't going to go out of my way to watch it in the cinema.
I'd argue, Earth, if those of the know that for those of the he owes you a lot more than you owe him. I would say at this point.
But I'm grateful for the stuff he's done for me. But so I actually got a copy of the DVD during COVID lockdown from my sister, who bought it for me as a birthday present because she's being nice. And I actually sat down to watch it after I had my COVID jab because I was like, I don't want to do anything stressful. Sod it. Let's just watch this. And you know what? It surprised me. It wasn't as bad a movie as I thought it was going to be. It's still not the kind of thing I'd go out of my way to watch, although bearing in mind the previous movie I had watched to that was the original Deadpool, which I fell asleep to. So,
Yeah, but so what we gathered from that is that you like the film.
It was okay.
You like the film, but it might have been a side effect of the COVID vaccine, is what we're suggesting.
Well, here's the thing. Guess when I went to go see the second film?
You had your booster.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
And my flu jab at the same
right,
time.
So actually, we don't know then if you do like the film or not.
Well, here's the problem. I remember very little of the two films. The big things I remember are the references I recognised and a few other minor bits. But the big comparison I want to make to it is the Mario movie.
Yeah, so that's which actually brings us slightly round to singing it, actually, because obviously it's Illumination.
Yeah. But the thing for me is that the thing I liked about the Sonic movies is I couldn't predict what was going to happen because it was a different story. And while it had the nice references, and to be fair, the movies were fairly predictable anyway, but, it was something new and something different. The problem I had with the Mario movie is... the other thing I'd say is the good thing with the Sonic movies is they actually tell a story that has player progression? Character progression. Tell where my mind is at the moment. Character progression, it has a proper story, it has its moments, it has its funny bits. Some things I think are a little bit cringe humour, but, they're fine. The problem I had with the Mario movie was just that it was just reference. It vaguely had a story, but it could have just been not there and you wouldn't have noticed.
I think from what I have seen the Mario movie, it feels very much like here is your introduction to the world of Mario in case you somehow don't know. So it's very much this is a platform for franchise.
Kind of. The biggest problems it has is it rushes through everything too quickly. And to give an example, is like, Okay, so first thing first, introduced to Mario and Luigi, they start plumbing business. Okay, not doing so well. Find weird pipe, go to Mushroom Kingdom, get split up. Mario meets Peach, training montage, go to Donkey Kong World. Fight Donkey Kong. Rainbow Road. Movie ends. And it's like, there's no time for anything, really? And, like, my favourite reference is purely because one of the characters I like for a niche game is in there, as a background character, and that's the main thing I remember about that movie.
How does that play out versus what plays out in Sonic movie?
The one thing I like about the way Sonic movie does references is they're either subtle or they're just there as a background element. They don't try and force it down your throat too often.
Which is ironically not what Sega does very well.
They do it better than Nintendo do, to be fair to them.
That's not a high bar.
I know, but the problem with Nintendo is Nintendo basically go, here is reference, laugh at it, like it, praise us and give us more money, you whelps.
Pre-order tickets to the museum now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Apparently, they're getting a tour with Miyamoto, and I'm just like, no, take me there. Yes, I confirm.
Miyamoto, so he'll probably just be disappointed in you if you turn up.
I actually had this conversation with a few people who have taken their kids to see the Sonic movie as well, including my own sisters, nieces. And the big thing they've said is that out of a lot of them have taken them to see the Sonic and Mario movie because they were kids from the 90s who grew up with those as well. And what they've basically said is the Sonic movies have been good for the family to sit and watch. The problem with the Mario movie was it was mostly references for the older generation. And while there were flashing lights and stuff for the kids actually tended to get... They watched it, but they just were like, okay, that's done now. Whereas with the Sonic movie, they're like, I remember Sonic. I remember the characters. I want to buy the plushies and figurines now. And that didn't happen with the Mario one.
I mean, that's the main main goal. That's the main goal for them. It's like, I want to buy plushies and stuff.
But it's surprising that the Mario movie was definitely hailed as the better movie, and it did better in theaters. But I don't think it quite had the same after effect as the Sonic movies. But anyway, so that's all in the past stuff. Having just watched the Sonic 3 trailer, I have questions. Like, why is Gerald still alive? Because I'm pretty sure the reason Shadow goes on an insane rampage is because he misremembers what Gerald tells him.
Yeah,
while he's dying and going back.
We'll get to that bit because that's one of the things I want to have a go at.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you go now.
As mentioned, I am a Jim Carrey fan. Jim Carrey is one of my favourite actors. Of my top 3 films of all time, it contains a Jim Carrey film, which is Truman Show. I'm sure little uns will find it funny, but honest to God, I was watching, even from that clip, I just thought this is so phoned in. Yeah. I thought like this. Like, we brought this man back from his retirement to do this role, and oh boy, does it look like he's getting the paycheck, and that's it. I mean, there's little bits and pieces. So okay, so number one, we seem to change what happened with Maria, and as you mentioned, it's half of it's about Other Shadow's reasoning for doing what he's doing is that he misremembers because he's got all sorts of things happened with his brain.
And even in the game canon, there's like,
there's two.
There's Maria getting shot in front of him, and then Maria ejecting him out the capsule, which she can't do if she's been shot dead on the floor. She
ejects him after she's shot. It's like her last act is getting him out of there.
Yeah, but I think in Shadow the Hedgehog, it's like remember that.
He's remembered differently, and that's point. Yeah. But then you have to ask. I like actually part of the reason I really like Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow for Shadow's story is that it's still not entirely, confirmed one way or the other which one it is, because in Shadow it's just like, oh yes, no, these are the reasons, yes, but these are you're getting these visions in part because of Black Doom, and he is manipulating you, so you can't actually trust them 100%. It's like you can't really necessarily trust what Shadow remembers right at the end of SA2, because he might be remembering that in that way just because of the heroic actions he's doing. It might be his subconscious playing a trick on him to justify his actions, just like his bad actions in the game. The plot of it was justified by what he remembered. So we appear to have Maria dying in a different way, somewhat. Shadow's there, Gerald's there. We see them surrounded by soldiers. Now, I don't want to suggest that maybe they didn't want it that the President of the United States orders a hit on the lab which results in the murder of a child in a US election calendar year. I don't want to suggest that, but then again, Gerald is also alive, so
yeah, exactly.
Gerald is not executed on the order of the President of the United States as leader of the in-universe UN. So they might have changed that ever so slightly, and it also seems that it might be that Maria wasn't shot, but maybe has died as a result of an explosion, an accident, and not, a government-ordained military operation that results in her assassination. This terminally ill child.
I will say, by the looks of it, the base is not the space colony.
No, it's
that I understand, because that's going to be a nightmare for your budget.
Yeah, it seems like it's what's the freaking first level in SA2 for Eggman's side? Whatever the military base one is, it looked like it was that when they showed Shadow coming out of the pod or something. It was different to the pod that they showed with the hair gel in it. Where him and Maria was just like, oh yes, hand to hand via the glass. Nothing bad will happen. We'll be friends forever. Smash bang.
Iron Gate, it's called.
Iron Gate. So I felt more like the end of Iron Gate than when he was coming out of the actual pod. Those were two different locations. But so Professor Gerald was, the whole point of Professor Gerald's character was that he is this very kind man who just wants to do good for the world, and a bad thing happens. It's like sort of the Batman one bad day principle. He effectively has one bad day, which is his country betraying him and
his granddaughter
his granddaughter being murdered in front of him, and then him being all his work being
tortured.
all his work being just taken from him, and then being imprisoned, and then being executed. There's a whole heap of crap.
To be fair, he goes mad before he gets executed.
He goes mad due to the fact he's mad with grief. The whole point is that the character is a tragedy, and then you've got that as the other motivator because Professor Gerald is Shadow's father. He's his creator. He's his father. So Shadow in one day loses his entire family. He loses his best friend / sister in Maria, and he loses his father. And he loses his trust, among other things.
Yeah.
So them going aha, he's not dead, is just I find it pretty cheap.
No,
I find it a cop out. It's a cop out for a kid. It's a cop out for a kids film. If this was 80s, that guy would be dead as a doornail.
Yeah.
Not only would he die, he'd die worse than he did in the game.
I mean, to be honest, I guess it's to, like, prevent, like, angry parents on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook.
They'll get
heaven
angry
help us, screw
anyway.
up, all of you.
The thing is, this looks like it's going to be slightly darker anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
then kill the bastard. Have done with it.
That's the thing, though, is like I kind of am on that side. It's like, well, if you're gonna do that, you might as well.
But then, he's immediately portrayed as this horrendous goof because I don't know what's going on.
To be fair, that makes sense with the Eggman of that film. And I will say this: while I think Jim Carrey was fine in the first movie, I warmed up to him, but he wasn't the Eggman that I would have thought of, but at the same time it felt more like that was an origin of him going from Robotnik to Eggman. And in the second movie, I actually think Jim Carrey was very good, though near the end
Because they're like trying to bring, like, I thought from what I saw of Carey's performance, it was very much clear, like, this is, as you say, it's not like origin story, but it was still very much its own thing.
Yeah,
And I thought he was kind of brave to do that, actually, to actually just not go down like the nonsense.
So, this is the thing, that in the first movie it's very much its own thing.
And now that they've sort of brought, they're sort of like shoving it more and more and more in that way because he's going further down the path of madness.
Kind of. Well, so the thing with the second film is he does go a little bit loopy already, and that's where he starts taking on a little bit more of the video game Eggman traits, but there's still a little bit of the original left. And then the thing I'm suspecting is the thing is at the end of the second movie he's supposedly gone, and I think they tried to have a way where they could, if we have to write him out, he's out. But yeah, it feels a little bit like he's being forced in, if I'm going to be honest.
Can I ask a question about the in-universe nonsense? So, I remember in the first one there was just like the thing with the Speed Force-esque power that Sonic has, which with the quill. And in the first, I remember him just going as he for some reason licked it like it was a child with a battery,
Or like one of those Sonic lollipops, the ice cream pops.
And he also like gets sort of payment from Sonic in the free trailer, which brings it more in line with like I will help you, but I want payment. And you know what payment is? Yeah, and it's another quill, which again he licks. Is Sonic an addictive drug? Is Sonic like LSD or something? I mean, I've seen enough fan art to suggest that there's a similar connection, but
what I would say is this is, and feel free to correct me, Nintendo. The thing I think it is that essentially, when Eggman originally gets one of Sonic's quills, it's like, the whole thing about Sonic's speed is that his quills harbour tremendous power, and it's what gives him his super speed. In theory, Knuckles has the same thing, but that gives him super strength instead.
And Tails is just Tails.
Yes.
That's what I got really annoyed about in
Plain
Sonic 2.
old Two Tails.
Yeah.
Fox Boy. Yes.
I was disappointed of how Tails was portrayed in the second movie, and this is where I'm going to get onto the topic with Amy and Rouge not being there. I think it's good, because if they were shoehorned into that mess, there would be no room for their character development. That happened with Tails in the second movie, and he was kind of just shoved aside, despite his icon being in the logo. If you're going to advertise something like that in the first place, actually act on what is in the logo rather than just going, oh, Tails is there. He deserves some love, for crying out loud. Rant over.
See,
So
the problem is they tried to introduce Tails and Knuckles in the same movie,
Yeah.
so there wasn't time to develop both. I actually don't think it was that bad. I think Tails got enough screen time.
But do they actually properly develop the core relationship, which in the Sonic franchise, which is Sonic and Tails, Big Brother, Little Brother?
Sort
Do they
of.
actually sort of?
They rush through it because they have to, because they've got so much screen time. The only one they've explicitly said they wouldn't do was Rouge, and that doesn't surprise me, considering it's an American-developed movie.
This is the thing. There's a super easy way to actually just have Rouge in, or just like plant a seed for later. You have a scene with the GUN with doing stuff, and whatever characters are going on, this, that, and the other, blah 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 blah. And they're in like a base thing, and one's guy's like ordering about. If you have like the equivalent of Abraham Tower, the commander of GUN, that's his name, in case you didn't know. Thanks to the comics. Cheers, Ian, for actually giving him a name. We've got, you just have that scene with them saying, "Oh, get me that hedgehog." Like, which one? I don't care. Just a hedgehog. I am racist against hedgehogs. They must all be eradicated. There's a fox and then the kid there with them. Well, get them as well, I guess. You just have that scene with whatever's going on, and then you just. And then once that's over, they walk off, and you stay on frame, and then you realise one of the background elements in like the darkness just shifts, and you could just have like a pair of wings opening up, and you just have a pair of eyes there.
That would be
hanging
good.
from the ceiling, as the audience, as the engagement, that's Rouge, but you then don't, you don't expressly say that, you don't expressly show that. It's just, you just see, there's like a pair of wings that you can just about see unfold. One like comes out into the light briefly, so you can tell, and then you just have the eyes there. They narrow, and then there's like a flap noise or what have you, and then the camera cuts. That's how you do that.
Yeah.
If Amy isn't in like the last scene with her like coming into the city a la Sonic Adventure, I don't see what the problem is at this point. You're 3 movies and a TV series in. You can, I'm sure, handle the concept of women.
Well,
Yes.
So here's the thing, though.
You must. It's not.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think the problem from my end is obviously Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, despite their acceptance in the world, are still technically aliens. Technically, Shadow is as well. But it's like,
well, that's another story. Whether or not we actually have.
No, that's true. It's like, what was the
Shadow.
Inspiration for creating Shadow?
Hey, Shadow, it's me, the devil.
Me. I am Dark Doom, Black Doom, other words Doom. Sega doesn't understand that me and
Darkness
Doom
Doom
are not quite the same thing, but never mind.
Isn't Doom's Eye literally just like
He's like an extension of it, but
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that's the case in Sonic X Generations for some reason. It's like, no, that is Black Doom. No, it's Doom's Eye. It's Doom's Eye,
Well,
but that's Black Doom. No, it's not.
To be fair, the Generations one can kind of play around with it because it's not a real existence. It's probably the nightmares of Shadow's mind.
But the problem we have from Sega insisting that Sonic Generations was canon, which was so stupid. It was like, we've got a thing that's entirely about everything, like all the rules not working.
Bless me, sorry about that.
It's a thing entirely about the rules of time and space and everything else not being worth a damn anymore. There's a whole heap of stuff that's just meant as like throwaway nonsense, and for some reason they insisted that was the case. But
anyway, Sonic 3. I'm just not going to go out of my way to watch it. I don't think, because
that's fine, because Nintendo's going to go and see it
Yeah, for all of us.
While film equals squee, ticket purchase equals 1 on Nintendo's side, so that's fine. And
To be fair, the other
Turbo's
possibility
going to see
is,
it like 3 times minimum, I suspect.
to be
He
fair, the other
saw
possi-
it 6 times. 6 times last time, so...
The other possibility is I might get asked to babysit one of my work colleagues' kids through the film, so because it'll be like, hey, we need someone to sit through a movie with our kids so we can have the afternoon off. Do you mind?
Hey, person associated as a Sonic fan, can you not watch this Sonic film and instead look after our child?
Thankfully, they're
What?
old enough that I think they will actually sit through the movie.
What?
So
I have
Speaking
doubts
of
about
children.
I have doubts about your friend at that point. I'm sorry. That's like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
this came up in our discussion over the week about, are you going to take your kids to see it? And they're like, the wife will probably make me do it. It's like, if you pay me, I'll go do it. Just to...
Get a babysitter.
Yes, to be fair, I have volunteered to be their babysitter before. So.
Yes, but they can pay you to be a babysitter.
Oh, they have paid me to be a babysitter in the past. As I said, I'd make them pay for my ticket.
We need an LMC version of the Babysitters Club novels, just with Earth as the star, I think.
Wait, hang on. So I'm a babysitter. A
Solving
scientist.
mysteries.
Solving
Earth's
mysteries in World War
Babysitters
II.
Club. Solving mysteries like murders and disappearing pets and all sorts of things like that. That's what Earth's
In
going to do.
Italy, World War II.
What? I don't recall the Babysitters Club novels actually being in Italy during World War II, but I guess they could be.
I don't know. I've never read them.
Well, neither have I, but I know for a fact that this slice of Americana doesn't take place during World War II.
Yeah, well, maybe all my characters that I've played have rolled into one. I don't know.
God, Sniper Elite. Next Sniper Elite sounds a bit odd, everybody. There's. Welcome to Carl Fairburn as he travels along.
I was not in the next one, remember?
Yes, that's because he's too busy babysitting everybody, apparently. That's
Yeah,
how it's
render
going to work.
fans, yeah.
Anyway,
Too
there's
busy-
okay. So there's right. So we'll leave the discussion there. Other than the fact that there's stuff to get excited about if you're excited about the film. There's stuff to go about if you actually take it far
If
too
you're a law
seriously
nerd,
like me.
yeah.
And if you're completely not interested at all, then I think there's actually plenty of reasons not to see it based on the trailer. But there we go.
You know what? This is the thing. Here's the thing with the two movies is, if you asked me to watch them, if you told me I had to watch the movies again, I'd be fine with it. It's not like I enjoyed them enough that I'd happily sit through them again. I just wouldn't pay for the privilege. If you told me the world will end if you don't watch these movies, if someone told me the world will end if you don't watch Sonic 3, I'll go watch Sonic 3. It's not
I should
something
bloody well
like...
hope so if the world's going to end. If you know, well, look, if you,
But no.
I've got bad news for you. If the world's going to end, we're just going to grab you and just like physically carry you into the cinema, just strap you down, stick you, gonna like prise open your eyelids, Clockwork Orange style. So
Yeah,
until
but
you
let me
perform
put it this way. If you asked me to watch something like Aliens Prometheus, if the world was going to end, I'd say, goodbye world.
again, we're just going to carry you into we're just going to Clockwork Orange you until you this
You got to catch me first.
Yes, you must. Nintendo,
yeah,
go for his kneecaps. She's perfectly
I'm so
capable.
sorry,
She's
Nintendo.
perfectly
You're
capable. Right.
Yeah,
So that brings us though onto a brand new segment for Radio Redux.
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. Welcome everybody to. There is no jingle, by the way. Welcome to a new.
This is your interlude transition. So
Welcome everybody to a new segment that I need to get a proper name for, but until we come up with something that's a bit more catchy, I'm going to call it AI the News.
Oh, have we got the AI to write the news now?
No, not quite. So we do have the news on Radio Redux every so often.
When
It's worthwhile doing it to do. So AI has its role in the world. It can be used for great things like research and other matters. It can also be used for creative purposes, which
I've laughed recently at people going like, "Oh, your game uses AI." It's like, yes, we need that to make the characters move. Otherwise, your NPCs are literally going to be stood there doing nothing.
I'm sorry, AI is made from code. Is like if there's no code, there's no game.
I hope you enjoy playing tic-tac-toe with yourself as a video game, because all you're going to get for the rest of time. But what if we took the news and made it more entertaining?
Ooh.
What if we took the news, say that there's been a trailer for Sonic the Movie 3, and that Keanu Reeves turned down, we didn't even get to this in the show, he turned down Star Wars, reportedly, to roll down his Star Wars so he could be in Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, because he's a gamer and he's a lad. And he's the voice of Shadow. What if we put that information through an AI tool and generated out of it a song? What would we get if we put that prompt in? Well, such a tool does exist. And after a short period of time with lots of whirs and clicking and very strange mechanical noises, a song popped out. And I'm now going to share my screen with these two so they can actually listen to it.
I'm hoping for smooth jazz. Keanu deserves smooth jazz.
Keanu, there we go, Blake. Put that on your placards. Take it down to the premiere when it comes. Keanu deserves smooth jazz. The song that was generated was called Keanu's Choice, and we're going to listen to it right now.
Oh god.
Keanu got a call, Hollywood on the line, Star Wars knocking at his door. He said no every time. Found another gig where shadows played a part. Voice of a hedgehog speeding fast. He followed his heart. Keanu in the shadows, racing through the night. Left Star Wars behind him for a new kind of light. Fans were all confused, didn't see it coming, but Keanu had a vision of shadow running. Light sabers on the shelf, galaxies away. Sonic's world needs a hero. Keanu here to stay. Keanu in the shadows, racing through the night. Left Star Wars behind him for a new kind of light. Fans were all confused, didn't see it coming, but Keanu had a vision of shadow running. Lightsabers on the shelf, galaxies away. Sonic's world needs a hero. Keanu here to stay. Keanu in the shadows, racing through the night. Left Star Wars behind him for a new kind of light.
Oh boy.
Why does it sound like a 2000s song?
I thought it was pop rock electric was the.
Okay. I will say that is kind of the perfect kind of tune for a 90s track.
Yeah, it does feel.
Yeah.
I will put my music theory hat on and go, the rhyming is done well. However, some of the lyrics need tweaking because there's some weird phrasing in there.
I know,
Did feel-
but it's in terms of what you got. I thought that
Oh,
was
it
pretty
ain't bad.
good.
It
Pretty
ain't
good.
bad.
Also, what you can't see, these guys can, is there's this amazing.
Yeah, the thumbnail.
The actual art that it generates, it does album art as well, is silhouette of Keanu Reeves running down a neon Japanese street at night.
I can see.
As he
I
runs
can
away.
Really, I can see. Can you zoom in real quick? Actually, hang on.
Oh, I mean, it's obvious that it's AI. It's super obvious that it's AI.
I know it's super obvious that it's AI. It's just like I can just tell. I can just tell.
That was that. Anyway, we're gonna wrap the show up there. But
I see.
But yeah, so that's what we'll do is that next time out, we'll do some headline in the news and we'll see what it comes up with. And we'll also, if the guys are there, we'll probably do this. We'll do this sort of live and just see if we can like put in a specific like. If you want a musical style, if you do want blues, if Keanu Reeves does deserve blues.
No, smooth jazz.
Oh, smooth jazz. I'm sorry. If Keanu Reeves does deserve smooth jazz, then maybe we'll ask you to do smooth jazz next time. Who knows? But that's it. Anyway, thank you to Ninten and also to Urtheart for joining me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll be back soon, or LMC Cast will be back soon if you're listening to this on Radio Sega. But yeah, there we go. There's a movie coming out. They want you to buy tickets. Capitalism.
Which I will be doing.
I won't.
I'd sell my arm and the leg for the franchise that I love, which is Song.
I mean, I'd sell my arm and leg for my own creations, maybe, which I already do.
Yeah, same.
I'm
Same
gonna buy 2 arms and 2 legs, and then I'm going to just go around as the human spider.
Kev Spider.
Spider Kev. Spider Kev.
Spider Kev does whatever that Spider Kev does.
Which is not watch this film, but you all are welcome to. Goodbye.
Look
from
out.
Radio Redux. See you soon, guys. Bye bye.
I still remember what I promised you.
smile, I promise you. Revenge.